So you came from Facebook, Meta, and then you went into Sui. At Facebook, you had unlimited resources.
Yeah.
And when you went to Sui, it was a startup, it was something totally new. What was the biggest challenge you had?
So we're very well recognized for advancing technology. So when we left Meta, people came to us to work for us because they knew we had a reputation of building advanced tech. In fact, some projects in Sui are ex-Meta employees who left Meta to build a project on Sui. Similarly, Costas has been in crypto since 2009. Evan had been in crypto quite early. Sam probably thought crypto was a scam.
Now I'm very curious. You know, you have so many co-founders on your team. If you had to pick one person who is your favorite, who would that be? Except yourself. You cannot pick yourself.
Damn.
Yeah.
等一下，我有两个东西要跟你谈。那第一个呢，是我要感谢你给我们你的这个支持，来看我们的这个 Coin Mirror 华语的频道。你的支持呢，让我很感恩。And 第二个呢，我希望如果你喜欢我们这个频道的话 ，make sure 你 hit 这个 subscribe button， 因为你的这个支持会让我们更有信心来带最好的价值给你。现在我们回去看那个节目吧。Adonai, thank you so much for having this interview.
Pleasure.
Okay, so this session is going to be called Roast the Founder.
Okay, I'm a little bit nervous. Let's go.
Okay, my first question is this. When you first met your mother-in-law, she don't understand blockchain.
Yeah.
She don't understand Sui.
Yeah.
How do you explain blockchain and Sui to your mother-in-law who is a beginner?
First, I had to beg her to tell her I'm not a drug dealer, that crypto is okay, it's not drug dealing. I said to her that the internet came to let you send messages around the world for free. Sui, around the world for free and instantly. Sui is here to allow you to send value across the internet as quickly as possible. So one lets you send data messaging, the other lets you send value. And she gets that, for sure.
And she gets that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very simple. Very good metaphor.
Yeah.
So you came from the days of instant messaging.
Yes.
From Facebook, Meta.
Yeah.
And then you went into Sui. So at Facebook, you had unlimited resources.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And when you went to Sui, it was a startup, it was something totally new.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge you had at the point of
So, I mean, at Facebook, you're right. We're the team that was building Libra, responsible for all the R&D and launching the project Libra. We had unlimited resources to do whatever we wanted. But also, the problem with big companies is things are generally slow the more people you have. So the opportunity for us with less budget and less people was actually allows us to run a lot faster. So the first gap we had to solve is let people know that we're not that we are not like a pet project of Facebook, but we are from Facebook building, basically extending the project of Libra outside of the world of Facebook. But ultimately, you know, getting people to trust that this is not a new social media company trying to steal your data. And now we've got that trust of the ecosystem and we're building something fundamentally amazing.
And when you were going from Facebook to Sui, at Facebook, everyone wanted to work with Meta.
Yeah.
Right? And for Sui, it was relatively new at that point of time. And right now, it's only like 3 year old, 3 to 4 year old?
2.
Only 2 year old,
Yeah,
right?
2 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you convince developers to build on Sui?
So when we were at Meta, the most important thing for us was the pipeline of hiring. I never got to work with as many talented people as I've ever had, actually, since Smithson, actually. When we left, me, Sam, George, Costas, and Evan, we had a great reputation in building advanced technology. At the company, we led all the R&D for the company, for Meta. Costas ran cryptography for WhatsApp. Evan was a co-creator of LLVM, which powers all the phones that you have today. And Sam was the youngest principal engineer at Facebook, got awarded for creating Move. And George was a creator of all our consensus algorithms. I ran the product team. So we're very well recognized for advancing technology. So when we left Meta, people came to us to work for us because they knew we had a reputation of building advanced tech. In fact, some projects in Sui are ex-Meta employees who left Meta to build a project on Sui, which is interesting. So it's been really great.
Can you give me some examples of what projects?
Yeah, if you think about it, Momentum, right? Wendy actually worked with us at Libra, right? And she's now running MSafe and also Momentum, which is a DEX, right? We have a few people who have also, you know, either when they leave Miston, who own Double Up, have gone out to actually build Double Up and other protocols. We actually have a few other employees who become founders for the first time after doing some stuff with Miston and want to build because they see an opportunity to build something amazing on a Sui platform. which is very validating, right? Right? They're not leaving to go into AI. They're not leaving to go to another chain. They're leaving because they say, okay, I understand this platform. I can build the next business. Let me go out and do it. And we help them too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's be honest. Web 2, you got a nice paychecks. You got stock options.
Yeah.
Right? Right now, you're in Web 3. Full of rug pulls, lots of bugs, bridges that don't work.
Yep.
What made you transition from Web 2 to Web 3?
I've been fortunate to be in crypto since 2012. So I built a Bitcoin mining company where I was close to 15% of the mining hash rate at some point. So I'd already believed in Web 3 for a long time, so I'd already been red-pilled into it. Similarly, Costas had been in crypto since 2009. Evan had been in crypto quite early. Sam probably thought crypto was a scam for a while. And George had been in crypto for actually quite a while as well. So it didn't take much to convince us about the space that we really believed in. We believed in open systems were going to be better than closed systems. And in fact, we felt the reason why the internet was broken is because there was no open system for applications to communicate with each other. That's what SWE is, right? So SWE is an open platform that allows apps to interoperate with each other for the first time at scale. Whether it's their storage, whether it's their data, whether it's transactions, whether it's AI agents talking to each other, SWE is built for all of that, which is very, very unique. Nobody else is solving that problem at scale.
Right, talking about that, Ethereum's got the brand.
Yeah.
Solana's got the community and the speed.
Yeah.
What's so special about SWE?
Our team. I think our team is unmatched anywhere in the world. We have entrepreneurs in our company who have helped build search at Google, who've helped to build infrastructure at Facebook, who've helped to build things like amazing scalable databases like Spanner at Google, Netflix, you name it. Like our background is building systems for billions of users. So when it comes to tech, SWE is already way more advanced than these chains you mentioned. I mean, we have unlimited TPS, right? You throw 10 times the hardware, you get to 3 million TPS in SWE. You throw 20 times the hardware, you get 6 million TPS in SWE. So we have horizontal scalability. It's how we build stuff at Google and Facebook, right? Our latency is the lowest in the industry by far, but who cares about all that stuff? That's just stats, right? More importantly, what matters to us more is the fact that we have a programming language that developers can adopt from. If they're using JavaScript, using Move will be the future of how you describe things on the internet. So we actually have a full developer platform for how people are going to build apps in the future. That's the innovation. Not just being able to trade memes or being able to hold assets, but to actually allow people to build applications. You can rebuild Airbnb, you can rebuild WhatsApp, you can rebuild Instagram, all on SWE for the first time ever. That is where the innovation is, and that's what really exciting.
You talk about the Move language.
Yeah.
A lot of programmers, developers that I know, they are already complaining about Solidity. They're complaining about Rust.
Yeah.
What are you smoking so much that you're telling people that, hey, you know what, you need to get to the Move language now?
Yeah,
What's happening?
It's a good question. Like when we were on Facebook, interestingly, one of the things where we looked at all programming languages from C++, Rust, you name it, as like a way to maybe have the platform for Libra to run smart contracts, and we realized that if you're going to power billions of users, the money for billions of users, you need to have robust ideas of how people can craft transactions and also keep money safe. We know a plethora of ways to attack the EVM today, and also even the SVM, right? Like, it's not that hard. When you have systems that now reentry attacks, people's money is actually at the behest of, or at least at the mercy of a virtual machine. So we had to invent a new language. It wasn't that we wanted to invent a new language. There was no language to solve the problem for money. So Move was a language, and interestingly, there are over 12 million JavaScript developers in the world. We needed a language that can allow JavaScript developers or traditional web developers to transition into an object-based system for describing assets and moving money. So we are very invested in Move. We think it's the only way to actually build safe systems in the future. Interestingly, even at Meta, we're looking at how do we take Move and replace some of our back-end transactional systems, because it's way more descriptive, it's way safer, you can remove a lot of bloat in code. I think a lot of systems will be built on Move in the future, and the more systems use Move, the safer the world's going to be.
So I noticed one thing about SWE is this. Before this, you guys were into GameFi, and then right now I'm seeing that you guys are into storage. Right now, you guys are into gambling as well.
Yeah.
With Double Up, you guys are into DEX. Do you feel that it's over-diversified?
I think what you've explained really well there is the fact that all these applications are possible on SWE, right? SWE has native randomness, so you can't actually build a proper casino or games of chance on any other network because there's no native element of randomness. right? And randomness is not only for casinos. You need randomness for all sorts of ways of provable systems, and Sui has that natively. So DoubleUp is using it. We also have other institutions are going to be using it for their own use cases, right? You actually need probabilistic systems for DeFi too. People are working on that as well. You touched on gaming. Like if gaming pushes a lot of boundaries of systems, look at the advancements we had in AI, data center design, the chipsets that developed by NVIDIA. Gaming pushed those boundaries. We also feel that things that power hundreds of millions of users on a daily basis are going to need scalable systems. So we went with gaming because one, it's going to bring a lot more users. In fact, I think gaming is going to power DeFi, not the other way around. And on top of that, if we can test and benchmark our system against the most difficult workload, we can power the world. So that's why we went through the hard work of going towards gaming. It's going to bring the users, it's going to drive DeFi. It's also going to be where we can test our systems where everyone else falls over.
So just now you mentioned about institutional partnerships. Right now, every blockchain, every crypto project are talking about institutional partnerships. Why would institutions choose Sui? And at this moment of time, what are some of the institutions that have already worked with Sui?
So if you've been following, recently we've announced more partnerships with the likes of Grayscale, who have launched a Sui Trust, Deep Book Trust, and also a Walrus Trust. We've worked with Van Eck, who also have a fund they're launching on Sui. We're working directly with 21 Shares. We're working directly with a number of Franklin Templeton and a few other institutions. In fact, a few institutions are going to be launching their own DeFi protocol directly on Sui. Institutions trust Sui as a platform. The idea that we have for safety, for security, they get it. They understand, right? Scalability is one thing, but security is actually going to matter a lot more. So we're scalable. Everyone says they are. But what matters is actually a secure platform for developers to build. So our institutional partnerships is showing, and you'll see more announced this year, is showing the warmth of Wall Street and institutions towards Sui, the platform, which I think is a barometer and a signal that they know where the future is going from an infrastructure perspective. And also they look at our team and they look at what we've built before. We're not a bunch of guys who came out of nowhere and just decided to start building infrastructure. We've actually built the infrastructure that powers most of the things you're using, whether it's your phone, whether it's your social media app, whether it's your exchanges. Our technology is there in one way or the other. So they trust us to actually be able to build something that will solve their own business-related problems.
So if I'm an institution and I come to you and I say, why should I choose Sui when Ethereum is more credible, is longer in the market? What will you say?
Yeah, if you're happy paying $5 for transactions, you can build a really great business on ETH, right? But realistically, anybody that wants to build something at scale, cost starts to matter, scale starts to really matter. And honestly, the ability to manage disruptions starts to matter. And people don't build for skill today. People, if you're ever building an enterprise company, you always think, hey, today my workload is 2,000 users. Next week, my workload is 1 million users. How do you deal with that? Can you answer those questions? No other chain can answer that question. Whether it's Sol, ETH, Aptos, whatever, they can't answer that question because their system are fundamentally built on scarcity. Scarce number of blocks, you pay more for blocks. Sui is built on infinite scalability, namely you add more hardware, you have infinite blocks. So that is why we answer those questions really well, and that's why institutions want to work with us.
Okay, so you keep preaching that Sui is the next big thing, it's the next big layer one, right? And every founder for layer one says that their layer one is the best, their chain is the best. What makes you think that Sui is not just another layer one with extra seasoning, extra sauce on top?
Yeah, so first of all, Sui is beyond just a layer one. Ethereum, Bitcoin gave us the internet for money, right? It gave us this alternative for money. Ethereum gave us its alternative programmability layer. What we're saying is the Sui stack is the future of the internet. It is a new stack for building in the internet, right? The internet is changing from these closed siloed systems to an open system of coordination. That's why we're uniquely set. We're not preaching the message of Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. They're great, but what we're trying to solve is actually be the backbone of the internet. That is a multi-trillion dollar opportunity, not the hundreds of billions that it is in just being an L1. And the kind of technical skill you need to be able to solve the internet scale problem is on a level that I think our team is well placed to solve. And I don't think that pedigree exists anywhere else in crypto.
Okay, so one of the things I realized is Sui is that you guys are building a lot of different projects. One day you guys are talking about data storage. The next day we talk about robotics. Then we talk about gaming. Then we talk about iGaming. You guys are developing so much.
Yeah.
Is this an actual blockchain ecosystem or is this a midlife crisis project?
It's a good question. Again, I think it goes back to our story, right? Like we're saying, Sui is a global coordination layer for the internet. And to be able to coordinate things on the internet, you have to be able to coordinate what people need to do, right? It's not just going to coordinate what you're doing in DeFi, right? Because we know DeFi is a very small market. It needs to be able to coordinate what I do on a daily basis. Our goal is that Sui becomes a utility, not a commodity. That everything you do on a daily basis on the internet is going to have an element of Sui in it. Whether it's you storing your files on decentralized storage, whether it's you unlocking a file in the future for your friends and family to read because you're using time capsules, whether you want to gamble, right, or do prediction markets, whether you want to build the next WhatsApp. Sui is going to be an underpinning of apps that are built for the future. In the future, companies will no longer own your data. You own your own data and you decide where your data goes. And that world is one we saw years ago when we were at Meta. And in fact, before we left Meta is what we're trying to build internally at Facebook. My last project at Meta was Trove. We're trying to basically have something called a treasure trove, right? Where users own their own data and Facebook is no longer an owner of the data. That is a big opportunity. And leaving Meta to do that, I think gives us a lot more freedom. That for us is the opportunity that I don't think anyone else can build.
Right. Adani, you're known to be the idea guy among your Sui co-founders. Apparently you come up with a lot of ideas, and translation, does that mean that you're one of those people that come up with ideas and then ask your engineers to figure out?
No, I'd say I would love to be the idea guy only, but we are fortunate to have 5 amazing founders and actually a great team. Ideas come from everywhere in the company. A lot of cryptographic ideas come from our research team and also Costas, Walrus, brainchild of George. Some of the work we're doing in Move and innovation, it's actually Sam and the team working on that. So ideas come from everywhere in our team. Product teams always innovating on new payment schemes. We actually have new innovative payment schemes that have never been used before that we're going to be announcing in Token this year. But ultimately, ideas come from everywhere, but they always come from a place of solving a greater problem that the internet has. Like we always care what problems are on the internet today. Like Sui can validate that you're connected to Facebook without talking to Facebook. These kind of problems we're solving. How do I send money to someone in the world when there's no internet? We're solving that problem, right? How do I make sure Sui can process transactions when TCP/IP network is down? We're solving those problems. These are foundational issues that you have to solve if you're building for the internet, not just building an L1.
Now I'm very curious. You know, you have so many co-founders on your team. If you have to pick one person, who is your favorite? Who would that be? Except yourself. You cannot pick yourself.
Damn.
Yeah. You don't need to be nice.
No, I'd say who's my favorite person? I would say it changes depending what we're working on, right? Like when we're working on Walrus, George is my favorite person in the world because that was his brainchild and I was able to learn a lot from him. When we're working on cool, crazy crypto ideas, it's always Costas. Because I remember I would be at Meta with Costas. We'll be on whiteboards like hours, because we're trying to come up with this amazing scheme for how you send money on the internet without using wallets. Because I think wallets are the dumbest thing ever, by the way, right? Like, how do I make you send money without ever needing a wallet? We'll be on a whiteboard trying to figure it out for hours and hours and hours. When we left Facebook, we made it happen. So he's someone I can throw ideas back and forth on all the time. Sam, what I love about Sam is he's probably one of the best thinkers alive, right? Like that I've ever known. I love the structured way he thinks about things. And he's very honest, right? He doesn't BS. He's not interested in hype or whatever, but he's able to think of things from a very first principles approach, whether it's hiring, whether it's technology, you name it. And Evan has this amazing ability to attract great talent. The reason why Mr. is so successful is he attracts naturally great talent, just gravitate towards him because he's got a history in delivering at a high class, at a high level. So I think I've sidestepped your question by naming great things like about each one of my founders, to be honest. But I think, look, it depends what we're doing, right? Like, and I think I have a favorite when it comes to different aspects of what we're trying to achieve in the company.
He's not answering my question.
And what would be your superpower?
I think my superpower is in, look, intuition is my superpower, actually. I run by a feeling for users and people. And I think that skill cannot be underestimated, right? You actually need that, right? It's one thing, I used to be a software engineer, I used to write code and whatever, great, but I realized I'm not going to be the best software engineer in the world. Where I found my key is looking at people, behavior, knowing what pains them, what problems they have, and channeling deep tech as a way to solve that. Like my greatest superpower is being able to turn really deep technical innovations into something people can actually use on a daily basis. And where's the best way to do that right now but Miston? Honestly, the crazy things are coming out on a weekly basis from the team, able to sift through what we can do now, what we can do later, what we can punt, what we should innovate now, what we should incubate, and what we should give out to other projects to do. That is my superpower, and I've got a great team behind me that makes that possible.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to your mother-in-law. So your mother-in-law, imagine I'm your mother-in-law right now, and I say I trust your intuition.
Yeah.
I trust your feeling, and you are in Sui. So Sui in the past few years have really pumped from cents to dollars. Right now it's $3 plus.
Yeah.
And she's saying that
I left $10,000 a million to legal gamble, and it's one of fun. I've not bought any sweet yet. Shit, yo.
okay, so I'm your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, should I buy Sui right now? And if yes, why?
Okay, so I'll say the reason, if you believe that we can capture the internet as a use case, right? Like namely that we can solve the problems of the internet, Sui is severely undervalued, right? Like I don't try and compare with Soul Eats because I think they're very narrow problems that they're trying to solve. Noble problems, but it's not the big problem space, right? What we're trying to do is ensure that billions of people in the world can get a fairer version of the internet that matters for them, and developers can take advantage of that and build new applications. For me, Sui should be worth trillions in the long term, in that sense. So yeah, what else to buy?
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're very sure because mother-in-law is an investor you can never offend.
Yeah, I'm very sure. I mean, look, we're very bullish on our own ecosystem.
Okay.
Think about it, right? When FTX went bust, we're able to use our own money to buy back our shares from FTX, 100% of it. So we're more bullish on our ecosystem than anybody else, quite frankly. So we put our money where our mouth is.
Okay, last question. Some people call it Sui, some people call it Sui. So what is the right word?
Imagine you're saying sweet. It's that sweet, not sui, not sway. It's sweet.
Sui.
Yeah.
All right, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
如果你们是有 hold 着税的话，或者你认识朋友有 hold 着税在你们的 portfolio 的话，帮我做一个东西，帮我们分享这个视频出去。如果你们喜欢看这样的视频的话，帮我打一个 like、subscribe， 然后 turn on 那个 notification， 因为你真的是不能错过最新的消息 from 税。